Now welcome to another edition of News from Naboo with Thor's Lightning Takes. And let's get right to the news.
All right, so Samuel L. Jackson, he came out and said that Mace Windu's not dead.
Sigh.
Sigh. No one's ever really...
Nobody, absolutely nobody, except for Qui-Gon Jinn, of course.
Qui-Gon, he's really gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
Very, very gone.
Except for the fact that he does come back as a Force Ghost, but let's technicalities.
Yeah. Well, Samuel L. Jackson, we know he loved playing Mace Windu. I mean, he got his own purple lightsaber. He had the letters BMF etched into the hilt of the lightsaber that he kept. Yeah, okay. You get it.
Yep.
And we never really saw him perish. So maybe he didn't die in episode 3? Sure, he did lose a hand. And
that's not a big deal. Yeah.
Palpatine shot him up with a bunch of lightning.
Yeah.
Then he fell out of a window that was very, very far from the ground.
I would say that's the least... Well, the hand is probably not a big deal either. I mean, it's a big deal, but not, like, in terms of dying.
Yeah.
The fall, like, we've seen Jedi, they can slow themselves. The fall, I mean, we've seen what happened to Maul. He fell a long ways, too.
That was only half of them.
Well, they both halves just fell. But yes. It's one of those things where if you asked me, like, out of the context of how many characters have come back, like, do you think Mace Windu could have survived that? I would be like, I think he could have. Yes.
Okay, sure. Why not? And he's just been, hiding out? Knowing about the Sith Lord? Knowing who the Sith Lord is?
Well, everybody kind of... Not everybody,
not
actually,
everybody.
nobody really figured it. Well, I shouldn't say nobody.
Yoda knew.
Yeah, nobody that had mattered or could have done anything after the fact.
This is Mace Windu. He would have. He would have rallied whatever was left of the Jedi and come storming the Senate.
Well, yeah.
It's the kind of guy he is.
It was the kind of guy he was. I mean, he tried the first time. He should have brought more Jedi with him originally. Since 3 of them
Maybe he
went
should have made sure everyone understood this really is a Sith Lord. Maybe be ready.
Yeah.
Instead of stand there and just get killed.
You really, the more you think about it, the more you're like, the Jedi Temple really should have been, like, on alert, right? Windu should have been like, hey, I'm going to go try to arrest Palpatine. This might not go well. But we think he's the Sith. He has control of the courts and the Senate and everything else, so be ready. Mm-hmm. And yet the Jedi are caught off guard.
Well, in the new Empire issue that's coming out, they did ask him about the death scene, and he just said he's not dead.
Oh, he just flat out said it, huh?
He just flat out said it. He's not dead. No.
I'm not dead yet.
And then they asked him, like, what would he want to do in, like, a Windu-centric Disney Plus series? And he said, everything, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So he wants to be in everything in the Disney Plus series. So here it comes. Windu, a Mace story.
A Mace story.
No, they'll just call it Mace Windu. That's how clever they are with the names.
Oh, God, they would too, wouldn't they? Because that is how clever they are with
names. It would be about him meeting Kenobi on Tatooine.
Oh, no, it would be about Kenobi going to rescue him, leaving the planet. Kenobi Season 2, confirmed. We know what to do.
Yes.
Go save Mace Windu. He's been trapped on Coruscant all this time, like hiding out from the Sith because...
This is great. Good stuff.
Because he only has one arm. Mm-hmm. And, he needs a second one to be a bad MFer.
I guess so. It just sounds worse every time you say it.
I like Mace Windu.
Mm-hmm.
I have just said that I think there's a chance he could have survived that, but let's not do it.
Maybe he's just gone.
Maybe he is just gone. Maybe somebody's just gone.
All right, let's move on to another topic. One that maybe is gone.
Oh.
All the old topic's gone. We're moving on.
Okay. Oh, the topic is gone.
Yes, the topic is gone.
But is it ever really gone?
Continuing from that Empire magazine, Hayden Christensen was kind of talking about how much he enjoyed adding connective tissue in regards to the fact that he worked on Ahsoka and he worked on Kenobi.
Yeah. There's a lot of tissue there.
He really, he says he had, like, a really great time doing Ahsoka. He raved about doing Ahsoka. It was a great experience for him. The opportunity for him playing Anakin again in Ahsoka, he said, the scenes that I got to do as Anakin on Ahsoka was a bucket list item. I didn't even know I had. When I was getting ready to do Obi-Wan Kenobi, I started my Clone Wars deep dive, and I loved it. I remember thinking, man, it'd be so cool if some of that was in live action.
It would be.
It would be. I mean, he didn't really watch the Clone Wars initially.
Sure, we can forgive him.
Yes.
Nobody's perfect.
No, he's not perfect. Nobody is. But originally, what had happened is George Lucas described kind of Clone Wars to him when they were working on episode 3. He kind of said some of the things that have been going on in between the 2 episodes. So then when Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau told me they wanted to explore some of that, he was game and he loved how it came out.
I wonder what George Lucas told him.
Right, and how much did it line up with what the show actually did?
Yeah, did George tell him, hey, you had a Padawan? Her name was Ahsoka.
It was Ahsoka.
Yeah.
You'll love her. She's great. You'll call her Snips.
She's gonna call you Sky Guy. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be great.
You're not gonna mention her at all in episode 3 though, so don't get any ideas.
Don't even think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, we had those great flashback scenes in the Shadow Warrior episode. We got to see like Anakin through the years, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I liked that a lot, actually.
No, it was really well done, even if you kind of had the fog of war going on, where you really only were focused on the things going on, which I thought was smart. Kind of saved them a bucket of money to not try to recreate the Clone Wars and just be like, oh, it's a memory, so there's just fog everywhere. It's very foggy in the memory.
Exactly, especially when you haven't watched the Clone Wars.
Yeah. we were clearly in Anakin's memory of the Clone Wars. Memory. Yeah, because he hadn't watched them.
No.
I mean, he was there, but he hadn't watched them.
This is George Lucas' description. Yeah. It's very foggy.
It's always foggy during the Clone Wars. That's what George told me.
But as for, adding context by doing Kenobi, by doing Ahsoka, Hayden said was, when we finished doing the prequels, it felt like that was it, and my journey with the character was over. So to get to come back now and do more with Anakin and Darth Vader was an amazing opportunity. The scenes that I got to do as Darth Vader on Obi-Wan Kenobi was huge for me. Being able to add a little bit more connective tissue to the character and to bridge the gap into Vader a little bit more is a very worthwhile thing.
I agree with him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the problem is I don't think Kenobi was a very good show, and I don't think Ahsoka was...
Vader was good.
Well, yeah, I don't think either one of them were fantastic, I'm sorry to say, but it would... In theory, it is awesome that you do have this connective tissue between the prequels and the original trilogy and Clone Wars and all these characters that have appeared in live action now. They've appeared in animation, and it does feel like there's the connective tissue. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish the shows had been a little better.
I can agree with that. Plus, it was kind of... I can't say canon breaking, but I'm going to say canon breaking. With the whole... How many times are Kenobi and Vader going to run into each other in between? And
that's part of the reason why I am not a huge fan of Kenobi is the canon breaking. And I'm kind of excluding that. Just the idea, because you could have done something with Vader and Kenobi through visions or whatever you wanted. There's a ton of potential. You didn't need the face-to-face in-person fighting again. And so I didn't mind that. I liked that. And I liked the idea of having this, kind of continuing story through the different shows and all that. And just kind of tying it all together and wrapping it up.
It almost makes you feel like this Disney Plus thing that they're doing right now is more of Anakin's story.
Yeah.
In general, because you're seeing, here he was in Kenobi, you're seeing here he is, he's more Vader now.
You're seeing the widespread impact of this one character.
Yeah, and then you get to him in Ahsoka and you're seeing what kind of effect he's having now.
Yeah, he's still there. He's
more present time.
Never really gone. Sorry,
no,
I had to.
He doesn't have to be. He can be there
forever. He's a Force
now.
ghost, so he gets to come back, yeah.
I fully expect him to be in Season 2. I know that was quote-unquote leaked. But I think that's kind of a guarantee.
Yeah, I know a lot of people call nostalgia bait on Episode 5 of Ahsoka, Shadow Warrior, him coming back. I don't. He was such a huge part of Ahsoka's story that if you're going to continue her story, you have to address the big elephant Anakin in the room. And I thought it was, other than the message being a little like, huh? I thought it was well done what they tried to do. I like the flashbacks. I'm even okay with the world between worlds and all that stuff. Other than, was Ahsoka in the water? Was she actually physically?
It's weird, yeah.
Yeah, questions that don't have answers.
Right. One thing, I wish that we could see him more live action projects. I would love it if he would show up in Andor, because I'm like, well, he was around, but...
You mean Darth?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, clearly not Anakin.
But at the same time, would it make sense for him to show up in Andor? Are the rebels who don't have any Jedi accompanying him, are the rebels really going to be enough threat to send Darth Vader?
No.
No, they probably aren't. Not at this point in time. Not until even after the Battle of Scarif is when he started getting a little more involved.
I feel like Scarif was the first time Vader's like, okay, let's deal with this rebel thing, all right?
Well, yeah, they had to send him because the Death Star plans were taken.
Yeah.
And that's obviously a big deal. So to see him in Andor, as much as I would love it, Probably not appropriate.
No,
He doesn't.
I don't
He's
think so.
he's too big to get involved.
He could be referenced. I would be fine
Reference,
with a
maybe.
subtle reference about the Emperor's, enforcer.
It'd be great to
dark
hear almost like
enforcer
a
or something.
reference of we had a rebel troops on this planet, but everything went silent, and but there was like only
Something.
one lone TIE fighter made it out. Be like, no, it was the only one that went in. I don't know. It would be really, really hard to use him effectively because he theoretically would just demolish them all.
Oh yeah, that's. I mean, it's the hallway scene in Rogue One, right? That's what's going to happen when your average troopers go against Vader. Slaughter.
Not gonna go well.
No, but it's
No.
cool to watch.
And then Mace Windu will show up
Oh God.
because he's not dead.
Oh, we'll have like an episode
Mace
of
will
Mace
show
Windu
up in
and Vader.
Andor.
Yes.
So that Vader can put the rumors to rest and put him down.
Yes. We'll have kind of like in honor of the Mandalorian season 2.5 in the Book of Boba Fett, we'll just have like an episode or two of Windu, a Darth Vader story in the middle of
Yes,
it.
because we'll actually see him dead for sure.
Yes.
His head will get cut off just like Django's.
Yes.
Yes.
Do we know Django died though? Are we sure his head was in there? I mean, it didn't
should've-
fall.
it should've
I've seen
fallen
people
out,
argue
yeah.
like I didn't see it fall out when Boba tipped it over. Like, oh goodness God.
Because we imagine when you hear them take their helmets on and off, you hear some pressurization.
Yeah,
So I'm
it's
assuming
probably
there's something suctioning that head
though.
in. Yet.
There's something disturbing about Boba putting the head of his father in the helmet. I've heard some people say, and I gotta watch this. I've seen Attack of the Clones so many times, I can't believe I haven't watched for it. But I've heard some people say you can actually see the head rolling out of the helmet. I have to check
That's
that.
pretty
I don't
grim
know.
too, though.
But it's not like it's shown as much as like you kind of see like a blur of something. That's what I've heard. I don't
Be a
know.
blur
I
of
gotta watch it
anything.
again. True.
Oh, I think.
How did we get here again?
You have problems. That's how we get
I
there.
ramble. I'm sorry. I think that's going to be all we got for you this time. So now it is going to be your turn to take to the comments below and tell us what you think about Boba putting his father's head. I'm sorry, no. Tell us what you think about any and all of today's news, and let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.